we want to move right into the recap where the Tigers won another series and have not lost a series since Scott Harris was hired as president of baseball operations. That's significant. I've said it before. I will continue to say it again. It's the Scott Harris effect. Guys that are actually playing for their jobs, they know that he's evaluating, and they're playing quite well. Now look, 10 of the last 12, they've won. That's pretty significant. They swept the White Sox, swept the Royals, lost 1 to Baltimore, and lost 1 to the Twins. They've won 10 out of 12 games. It would have been nice to do this kind of thing earlier in the season and actually become what the Baltimore Orioles were. The Baltimore Orioles were projected to have the same win total that the Tigers had, but they won 20 more games in their projection. The Tigers have not won 20 more games in their projection. Let's just put it that way. That's the kind way of saying it. But they've been playing good baseball. Hasn't been perfect baseball, as AJ said after the game yesterday. Hasn't been perfect baseball, but it's been good baseball. In Game 1, they lost. Joe Ryan, dude was electric. It's not like he blows you away with the fastball, but his fastball is deceptive enough to get on you quicker than you would think it would. He had 8 Ks through 6 innings. And the Twins won 7-0. Not much to discuss about that game. They won 7-0. And you thought, well, maybe the good feelings have rubbed off. But no. The Tigers came back on Saturday. They're in a tight game. The Twins make an error, which gave them the go-ahead run. In, I think it was the 7th inning. And then at the top of the 8th inning, the Tigers let the Twins load the bases. They bring in Gregory Soto with 1 out. He walks the bases loaded, okay? But then gets a ground ball double play that helps secure the win for the Tigers. And they win 3-2. You've noticed that they've won a lot more one-run games recently, too. And then we go into Sunday. Eric Haas homered for the 2nd time in the series. Victor Reyes homered again. Excuse me. I mean, Victor Reyes hit a bomb to right center field off of former friend Michael Fulmer, I might add. But the Tigers won 5-2, won the series. That's now 4 series in a row that they've won, playing good baseball. Now, let's talk about Victor Reyes for a second, right? We've got a big guy here that loves to pound the ball into the ground because of the swing that he takes. He's got to find a way to translate his build into a power hitting type of guy. He's got such a long swing that the ball is through, or the bat is through the zone so long, and his hands are like so away from his body when he's swinging, that even the home run that he hit was such a long swing. We got to find a way. They've got to find a way this offseason to get him to transition to become more of a line drive, high exit velocity, high launch, like pure launch angle, not high launch angle, because a high launch angle is a pop-up, but a pure, like, power-hitting launch angle type of swing, because if he can translate into that, he could be a decent piece. Not a superstar, but a piece. And another piece that I want to talk about, too, is the guy that's on the screen, Eric Haas. He's been really good this season, and a bright spot to a certain extent. Now, look, I get it. When he had a long run last season, there were a lot of holes that were exposed in his swing, that many believed he couldn't be a, everyday catcher. But this season, over 300 at-bats, 114 weighted runs created, 14% above Major League average. He's a 1.5 WAR player. He's got 14 home runs, 257 average, a 326 weighted on base average. He's a great and cheap option as a catcher next year. He's got a 27% K rate, which we know Scott Harris wants you to command the strike zone, so he needs to clean that up. But, he's been better offensively than Barnhart's been. He had 2 home runs in the series against the Twins. He has nearly 30% hard hit rate and a very little soft contact rate at only 18%. I definitely think moving forward in 2023, Eric Haas has to be part of the plan. Maybe some type of split or platoon. Maybe you bring Barnhart back on a cheaper contract. I don't know necessarily, because Barnhart's a really good defensive catcher. They also need to find a way to shorten up his swing, especially in Comerica Park, if they don't mess with the dimensions. But Barnhart and Haas would not be a bad catching situation next year if they were to make a run at Barnhart for a, 1 to 2 year investment, minimal dollars that they can assign there would be great. And we're going to get into an off-season breakdown blueprint. I've got to do some research and some studying. It's going to take a little bit longer to put that together, but I will do an off-season blueprint of what moves the Tigers should make, and that'll be on a live show where you, the fans, can interact with me, and we can discuss all about the Detroit Tigers at those times.